Welcome to Larry's Library. We are in the unboxing room, but we're not doing an unboxing. Instead, we're going to talk about my reading gear. We might call this my reading gear review. I'm not really sure about the title. Still working on that. But we're going to look at all of the things, all the physical things I need besides books for me to be able to read. Or at least the things I would rather have on hand if I can. So we'll start with this. Now, when I tell people I wear glasses to read, they assume I'm talking about cheaters. But unfortunately for me, my eyes will not work with the cheap drugstore readers because those glasses are simply a magnification that's repeated in both lenses, the right and the left, you know, from 0.25 to +3 or something, and that's all it is. Well, my eyes, of course, my left eye is really, really bad. It needs a lot of help. And my right eye just needs a little bit. But they are completely incompatible with having the same magnification on each side. So I've got prescription readers, and I got the prescription locally, and then I went to Zenni.com, no affiliation, but where you can get fairly inexpensive prescription glasses, and you can afford to have multiple copies of it in that way. So I think I paid like $50 for these, and I have more than one set of these. I can read without them most of the time if the light's good enough and if the print isn't too small. But it's much more pleasurable if I have them on. It doesn't strain my eyes nearly as bad, and it's what how I prefer to read is with my prescription readers. And, well, you know what? We'll save lights. I was going to get the lights now, but let's talk about bookmarks. I can't read a book without a bookmark. No way. I mean, maybe a single issue because I generally read it straight through. But anything larger than a single issue comic book, I use a bookmark. And of course, my preference, I mean, I'm not a savage, my preference is for a nice ribbon. But most books don't have ribbons, unfortunately. So I got a collection of bookmarks, and most of these are not actual bookmarks. They're the promo cards you see at comic shops. You know, typically you can go in there and they'll be on the counter. I mean, that one's from a battery order, you know, because, you know, I'm a flashlight nut, in case you didn't know, so battery junction, you know. But most of these are like little promo cards. Some of these are really old that Marvel put out to the comic shops, and they're on the counter. So I just make sure a few times I go to a comic shop, I grab some of these. Some of these are really old. That one's a really old one. I love that one. And that's what I use for bookmarks. You know, pretty old stuff, some of it. That one came with a Skyrim book set. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so that's what I use for bookmarks. Now, light-wise, move that out of the way. Went through a lot of trouble to make this video for you, so I hope you all appreciate it. This is my bedside light, and this is the typical architect's lamp, I think they call it, style. You know, you might have seen it at the beginning of, what is it, Pixar movies? Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah. Anyway, I think this one is an Allen Roth. I couldn't find a name on it, but I think that was the brand. And I think I got it at like Lowe's or Home Depot, probably Lowe's. And the issue here is, like a lot of people that have a spouse, you know, I'm reading before I go to sleep. My wife goes to sleep much earlier. So I need to try to control the light, but have it to where it's right on where I'm reading. And this does a pretty good job of it. I mean, there's still a lot of spill, but I can kind of... And then the next thing became, which light bulb? You know, and I experimented with dozens and dozens of light bulbs. I could go on about lights for 30 minutes and bore some of you to tears, but I won't do that. I'll give you the short version. I'll try. So what I ended up with is this Philips Wi-Fi bulb. I know it sounds crazy. Why is it Wi-Fi? I didn't need it to be Wi-Fi, but that's how it is. So this one is 450 lumens, and what I liked about it is you have it's high CRI. CRI stands for Color Rendering Index. Without getting too far into the weeds, CRI was what determines how accurate the colors are rendered on something from the artificial light you're using. So the sun is 100 CRI, and everything artificial is generally less. And so anything above 80 is pretty good. In the 90s is excellent. I learned all this because I'm a flashlight nut, which I won't bore you about that. But all of it applies to all artificial light. More and more, it used to be that none of the light bulbs you could buy in stores would list the CRI. But that's starting to change, fortunately. for, you know, crazy people like me. And this light is high CRI. Speaking of reading glasses, let me put these on. I don't want to tell you the wrong info. So this particular bulb, I say it's 450 lumens, and it is, let's see, it's 90 CRI as reported by Philips. Now the other factor in this is the color, well, it's technically considered the color temperature of the light cast. And this one goes from 2200K, which is very, very warm, like a candle light, all the way to 6500K, which is sort of pale blue and ugly to my eye. The cat's in here trying to disturb the tripod, so hopefully nothing comes crashing down. Anyway, but what I loved about this light, or this light bulb I should say, is 450 lumens I found from my investigations and my testing in the bedroom is way too much light for my bedside lamp. 450 is too high. I need about half of that. But finding it in a standard size socket, that is what this lamp fits, and also being high CRI, it was a lot to find all those factors together. But this one, because it is adjustable in output and in color temperature, allowed me to use my an app on my phone, and I've got a little B-roll. I can show you that right here, how that works. I can actually put this on 50% output, which is the perfect amount of light, and to my preferred temperature, which I like about close to 4,000. I think I have my custom that I've saved on this at 3,900 K, which is, for me, the sweet spot, perfect color rendering and perfect color temp. So hopefully that wasn't too boring for you people that are not light geeks like I am. But, so that's what I have in here. Now, you know, when I read omnibuses and comics and really almost anything, most of my reading is done at night with my bedside lamp. But I do read a lot in the library itself, especially on Sunday. If you've seen the Sunday scans, you know that. And I'll show a picture of the lamp. It's just a simple lamp. It's suspended from the ceiling, and it's directly over my reading table in the library. And I've got this bulb in that. Now, this bulb, I didn't have to worry about it being too bright in there because it's not, you know, my bedside lamp again. But I am very fussy about the color temp. And everything I shoot, I'll take these off. Everything all the videos I shoot in the library, which is the primary location. The cat just moved the tripod, so that's why the frame jumped, if you've seen that. Wow. So anyway, so when I shoot video in there, I have my camera set up for 4000K on the white balance. So I have replaced all the bulbs in that room to make them exactly 4000K, so my color is as accurate as I can get it without actually going through the process of color grading and all that jazz, which I'm fussy, but I'm not fussy enough to color grade my videos, not at this point. I mean, maybe after I retire, I may learn how to color grade, and then I may take forever for all my videos. My wife is about to roll her eyes on that one, but there you go. So anyway, what I thought was cool about this bulb, and these are the bulbs that I have in there, including the one suspended over my reading table, is this is just a EcoSmart is the brand name. You probably can't see that there, but I'll put a picture up, I'll put a still. And it has a mechanical switch right here where you can actually choose the color temp from 2700, 3000, 3500K, 4000K, or 5000K. So I have this set exactly 5000 or 4000K rather. So that way, you know, it's my preferred temp anyway for reading, and it's what I record my videos at in that room. So hopefully that wasn't too long of a story. Okay, put a few things away, and now we'll look at these. So I found that I definitely needed something to prop my books up on the table while reading in the library. And I looked at a lot of stuff. There's a lot of book stands on the market. You can buy a lot of different things. And I just never could find anything exactly like I want, especially when cost was a factor. And again, I'm fussy. I'm fussy about a lot of things. My wife is going, yes, you are. So I built it. Not that I'm a great woodworker or anything. I'm just particular about how I want something. So I have learned how to do a little bit of things with wood. And this was my first attempt at a book stand. And it's just some plywood, a couple of 1x2s or something there. You know, little chunks that I had, odds and ends I keep in the garage. And I lined it with felt here, and I got a little catch here. And it's not bad. It fits single issues, not too bad. I mean, it's a little bit short. I don't know if you can see that. But if you kind of put that behind it, it helps. So, you know, it doesn't work too bad. And then as you get larger, it kind of works less good. I mean, it's not super bad for an omnibus, but it definitely is really pushing it as far as it being comfortable on here. But it's not terrible. It kind of works. But I knew that I needed something bigger. So in revision 2.0 of this book stand, whatever you want to call this that I've built here, this is much better. And it's almost perfect. Although I am planning revision 3 because there's a couple problems with this. But let me show it to you first. You see how I built it. More plywood. And I've got some little, I don't know what those are. They're little fuzzy sticker things you put on the bottom of furniture and different things. And that's what it can slide across the table on. And these are 2x2s, and it's just a bunch of plywood. And then this piece here, the top, with these fancy cuts on it, I didn't do those fancy cuts. This I actually bought, made that way. And I forgot what it was for. What was it for? Plaque. It was a plaque. It's for sale at, like, I think it was Lowe's in the wood section as a pre-cut plaque base. So this is actually made for a plaque. I guess you display your certificates or something on it. And now the cat is adjusting my my ring light, which I didn't ask her to do that. So she's rubbing her face all over it and claiming it. I wish I had some. I wish I had another camera set up to where I could throw to something like that easily. But I don't have that. So anyway, this is not too bad. I lined the top of this with some adhesive cork. I think it was shelf cover. And it works much better, especially for the larger books. So for the comic books, just single issue comics, it works great, as you can see. Pretty nice. And then when you get to the omni-size stuff, it still works really well. Pretty happy with that fit. And it holds it there pretty good. And then when you get into the awesome gallery editions, which will give you an idea what an absolute would be like too, still works pretty good. I'll show you the fit there. Not too bad. Now, the problem with this stand is my angle. I think it needs to be a little more. This is a little bit too far back. I think I'd like to have it about like that. So I think version 3.0 is going to be at least as large as this, if not a little bit bigger still. And I'm going to increase my my angle a little bit. And the reason is because I'm sitting there reading, and my overhead light with this bulb, you know, like about here, it's getting a little glare. And I find myself doing this. As I'm reading, I'm putting my hands on it going, you know, because I just want a little bit more angle. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, well, just buy one of those adjustable ones they have online, and then you could adjust it for the lighting. Yeah, but you know, I've looked at those, and I just don't like them as much as I like this. Plus, it gives me an excuse to use my power tools kit and my finish nailer, my pneumatic finish nailer, and all that jazz. So I think I'm going to make a version 3.0 and increase the angle here. But that is what I use. So that is the kind of gear I use to read. Tell me about the gear you use to read in the comments if you have any. Or tell me if you think I'm a complete loon for requiring all this apparatus just to read a comic book. But hope you like taking a look at that. When I make version 3.0, maybe I'll do a little video and show you that. And you can tell me if you think I made it better or not. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.